Good morning, this is The Other Side of Midnight, live from Manchester on Halloween. It's the programme with less skeletons in the cupboard than the Tory party and more ghosts than a Naomi Campbell novel. All our ghoulies and four-legged beasties are gathered on the other side of the glass in the studio, and as for things that go bump in the night, meet my co-presenter, Debbie Jones from Radio City Gold.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, I am that bump. Halloween, have you bobbed? No, it's you bobbed for apples tonight.
Yeah, bobbing for apples.
Have you done it?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't done that for ages.
I haven't done that for years.
And you used to drop a fork from your mouth as well into the water to try and skewer
You do that
the
when you're having your dinner anyway.
I do, I'm a messy eater.
And you peel an apple and throw it over your shoulder and the initial says who you're going to marry. We'll have to have a go at it later, hey girls. Right, coming up this morning, talking about all this sort of strange stuff. The Toronto Blessing. Edwina Silva has been to sample the religious phenomena that's sweeping the country and has its followers roaring like lions, bursting out laughing, or even sobbing hysterically.
I actually found myself speaking a language I couldn't understand, waving my hands about to music I would not usually frown at. And people were falling down around me like dead bodies. It was really weird.
Sounds like this programme.
Yeah, it sure is.
No, that is odd. We meet pole-to-pole star Michael Palin as he signs his latest book, and the rather excellent Colin McAlpin delivers another letter from Belfast.
I enjoyed that a couple of weeks ago. It was great. And we look at reasons behind a brand new campaign launched this week to combat the invisible killer. That's carbon monoxide. And student Zoe Conway is back to review tomorrow's papers.
Yes, I'm going to be very positive and generous this evening. I'm hoping that tomorrow's papers prove my theory that MPs have actually all grown up now since leaving prep school.
Ridiculous. As always, we'll be joined by the Gabby Cabby Peter Franklin, plus the man who gave us Coronation Street. The lovely Tony Warren guides us through his latest creation.
And actress Sue Johnston, star of tonight's Radio 4 play Lost Children, set in Style Prison, joins us round the table. And Salford's media students report on everything you ever needed to know about Halloween.
14 minutes to 2, you're listening to The Other Side of Midnight on Radio 5 Live. Now then, did you have any unwelcome visitors at the front door tonight? Debt collectors in your case, isn't it, darling?
Don't be cheeky.
if they were dressed in silly garb with oddball headgear, the chances were it was either a bevy of barristers on a stag night or trick or treaters. But what exactly is the tradition of trick or treat?
Yankee rubbish, Tim.
Do you reckon it's Yankee rubbish?
I reckon.
We shall find out in a moment. I actually haven't got the foggiest idea. But listen, come to that. What about Halloween? What's all that about?
Well, it's the eve of All Hallows, isn't it? And it's a pagan ritual, and it's when the dead are supposed to rise, and lots of pagan superstition, basically. Witches, seeing reflections in mirrors, putting, I don't know, you do something with an apple peel, don't you? Or is that just to enhance your sex life?
That's to give you the name of the person you're going to run off with, isn't it?
Oh, that's right, yes. You peel it in one piece, throw it over your shoulder, and it goes into the initial of him or her you are going to marry. I'm not into all that.
Well, you were admitting before you're a born-again Christian. You can't do any of that, can you?
Well, no, but I tell you what, there was a case in the papers recently, a little lad. He was 10 and he'd spent £17 money from his birthday money, and he'd done a big display for the school of a Halloween thing, and he had pumpkins, little bats and everything. He'd done this little display. And the school, which was a Church of England school, made him take it home. Now, I mean, OK, I'm a born-again Christian with conscience. I think that's wrong to do that sort of thing. So I'm not a miserable one, Tim. I'm not a miserable one.
Well, I think you should keep that way, because I was looking at the apple peel that you dropped before, and it said Richard Gere. Now then, in their weekly reports, the students of University College Salford have compiled The Other Side of All Souls Midnight.
Ooh.
It's a crib sheet to Halloween.
Halloween originates from the old Celtic festival of Samhain, which is one of the 4 fire festivals that are equally spaced around the year.
Halloween is considered to be a time when all witches, goblins and warlocks go out at night and scare people. But this association with witchcraft is largely a modern idea which has caught on throughout the world. Children dress up as witches and ghosts to celebrate this occasion and venture out onto the streets asking for money. Ian Sturrock, an expert on pagan beliefs, explains the history of trick-or-treat.
Trick-or-treat is actually an English tradition originally. I mean, it went over to America and it's largely been lost from this country and then come back via America. It was originally known as Mischief Night, which I think was a week or two after Halloween. It's not really a part of the old Celtic traditions. It's more like there's always been, again, in almost any culture, there's a night when it's considered to be all right for children to cause trouble.
Halloween has become more popular in America than it has in Britain, especially when it comes to trick-or-treat. The very first trick-or-treaters were called geysers. They went from house to house disguised in the clothes of the opposite sex and blackened their faces with soot or wore masks. American student Jennifer Murden describes the pranks she used to get up to.
Spooning was a big thing. It's where you take plastic forks and spoons and knives and you stick them in people's lawns so that they're at the same level as the grass, and if somebody walks out on there without noticing, they step on it and it kind of hurts. That would be a very cruel joke that was played once or twice, especially to the people who gave out apples as opposed to candy. They were assured to get something happen to them. Toilet papering, just throwing big wads of toilet paper all over the trees, which is probably the least permanent of all the tricks.
America has now realised the dangers to children whilst trick-or-treating. It is becoming more unsafe for children to be out after dark because more often than not, parents are unable to supervise. But now, in some states, new measures have been taken to ensure the safety of the children.
Trick-or-treating really is dying out as a part of Halloween. There's an amazing fear of the unknown, going up to the neighbors who you think you knew, but a lot more malls and different shopping centers are having big parties, letting you go from store to store instead of door to door in your neighborhood. They guarantee that everything is safe and it's going to be a good environment for the children.
So what do children do in this country when trick-or-treating? Do they go out with parents or are they out alone?
I like going to people's houses, asking for a treat or toffee. I dress up and then go and play out with my friends next door. I'll do dress up like a Frankenstein, go around people's houses and get a broomstick, try and scare them. That is a bad night because witches and devils and stuff are out.
Trick-or-treating is a more modern way of celebrating Halloween. But should we go back to the original and much safer ways back in ancient times?
Most of the people who would seriously consider themselves to be pagans these days are actually more trying to go back to the original roots of it, and so they would try to celebrate it in a very traditional way. You'd not like to see them out in pumpkin masks and so on. The pumpkin, again, though, I mean that's a traditional symbol that's just intended to scare off any malevolent dead that there might be out there. All of the scary images of Halloween are an attempt to frighten off anything nasty. They're not an attempt to frighten children and so on.
Jack-o'-lanterns were the name given to pumpkins, and according to an Irish legend, were named after a man called Jack. He could not enter heaven because he was a miser, and was unable to enter hell because he had played jokes on the devil. As a result, Jack had to walk the earth with his lantern until Judgment Day. Many other Halloween traditions are related to love and marriage rather than the supernatural. Girls would peel an apple carefully so that the skin was unbroken. She would then throw it over her left shoulder at midnight. The shape it made on the floor would resemble the initial letter of her future husband's name. These superstitions are connected with this time of year. November the 1st was the old Celtic New Year. They celebrated the coming season of cold, darkness and decay. The Druids built New Year bonfires with oak branches which they considered to be sacred. So is Bonfire Night connected with Halloween?
5th of November, Bonfire Night, is a direct correlation. I mean, you would find that throughout this country, in the more rural regions, there were a lot of people still celebrating the fire festival in some way or another, just with local traditions. And so there would be fires of some sort 4 times a year. And the Bonfire Night one is quite close to the date of Halloween in the old calendar.
So although Halloween has been around for many centuries, it seems set to be celebrated for many years to come.
People still have this sort of instinctive need to get out and sit around a bonfire at this time of year and tell each other tales and celebrate in some way, and they're not quite sure why.
A report on the All Souls Night put together by University College Salford, and in particular Simon, Kassy and Martin, who are with us in the studio at the moment. Media students, I presume, all of you. Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
And what, anything in there that you all learnt, or was it fairly common knowledge stuff for you all?
Well, I think we learnt a lot about the traditions of Halloween. I mean, as youngsters, we just thought of it as trick-or-treating, but I think we learnt more of the traditional stuff.
Did you have a go at any of them? Have you thrown any apple peel over your shoulder? Done anything?
I did actually the other night.
And you were going to marry Kassy, aren't you?
No, it was a no, so I don't quite know who it was.
It was a what?
It was a no. Yeah.
I'm racking my brains now. I'm racking my brains.
By a big Russian athlete.
Did it take you a long time to put together a report like that?
Well, we started on Wednesday.
So no.
No, not really.
Plus
we had problems along the way.
Such as?
Basically getting the equipment. That's
the
only
tight
problem.
Do you still do it in the age-old way of razor blades and sticky bits of tape and things like that?
It's all computer now, digital editing. So it's
really?
easy. Yeah.
You see, these people are going to come into the industry
and
they're going to clean the floor with us.
I wouldn't know how to do that. I can only do it with a razor blade. Yeah.
Could you do as a crib sheet on Christmas?
I reckon we could put it together.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
And make sure you include baby Jesus and nice things, and don't be all sneery and
there we go.
I'm telling you.
I've had it up to here with religion tonight.
I want a nice one for Christmas, please, with the true meaning.
Well, yes, the fascinating facts about why we have a tree and a fairy and all that business. Yeah?
Yeah.
You can do that for us.
Wonderful.
All right. Good.